Hello friends, I welcome you all to the UPSC Live channel, and the topic for today's discussion is Public Spending Council. The Indian economy, as we all know, is facing a slowdown with just 5%. It skyrocketed at 8.2% in 2016, and it just took 3 years for it to slump down to 5%, a meager 5% growth, and which has led to the advisory council on economics, that is economic advisory council, and it has become of the view that the government needs to form a GST council like body to strategize expenditure and have maximum impact, pointing to the success of GST council body for the decisions about indirect taxes. Chairman of the council, economic advisory council, Vivek Debroy, he has said that in order to increase the efficiency of overall public expenditure, there needs to be a decision making body that would keep a check on the expenditure. Now, as I will discuss just a few minutes from now in the next section as to why we need at all a public spending council. There is a hiatus right now. There is a vacuum right now, because earlier the planning commission used to decide on the public expenditure, and now there is no such body. It is being decided by a sub body under a subcommittee under the Ministry of Finance, which has made it more centralized. And as we all know, as I will be discussing later on with that section only, that expenditure is something which requires a federal approach. It cannot be a centralized exercise like income tax collection, okay, or a revenue department raising of revenue. Expenditure has to keep in mind the very varied needs of various states, and that is why we need a council or a body like this or like that. Although some of you will think that Niti Aayog has been established in place of planning commission, but let me warn you that Niti Aayog has not yet been able to fully substitute the planning commission and taken up all jobs that it used to do. It is trying to, but it will take, I think, several more years. But we must not wait, because let me tell you what the importance of public expenditure is on the overall economics of a nation, the macroeconomics of a nation. So public expenditure forms a humongous part of the calculation of the gross domestic product, which is a yardstick of the growth of an economy. And we all know what a slowdown we are experiencing. So if public expenditure is not strategized and used efficiently due to optimum distribution and objective distribution among the states, I prophesize, or many economists have also prophesized, and I rely on their view only, that expenditure, if unplanned, will cause a great deal of trouble to the GDP of India, and it could go below even the 5% that it is on right now. Okay, so now let me take you as to what is the need of forming a public spending council. Why was it felt that there should be a public spending council at all? Firstly, there is a discontentment over the manner in which the center is distributing money to the states under the central sector schemes and centrally sponsored schemes. Now, central sector schemes and centrally sponsored schemes are two different things. Central sector schemes is basically the schemes that have been initiated by the central government, like the Ujjwala Yojana, okay? And centrally approved schemes are basically the schemes that are developed at the state level, but they get the approval of the center, and the center sponsors them or gives the majority of funds. इसमें states को discontentment हो रहा है. Why? I just gave you a foreboard to it, a preface to it, because the planning commission is missing. The body which provided economic federalism is missing in India since 2015. Okay, the center had abolished the distinction between planned and non-planned expenditure, with the last plan, which ended in 2017, last 5-year plan, which ended in 2017. The difference between planned and planned and non-planned expenditure has completely gone away. So now India does not have any plan or non-plan scheme but 300 central sectoral schemes and 30 centrally sponsored schemes. ओके, अब देखिए यहाँ पे हियटस कहाँ पे आता है. देखिए, मैं आपको ये एक्सप्लेन करना चाह रहा हूँ यहाँ पे, थोड़ा पॉज लेके फिर मैं आगे बढ़ूंगा, क्योंकि इसके जड़ में इस बॉडी को बनाने के नीड की जड़ में बेसिकली बेसिक सी चीज है, इकोनॉमिक फेडरलिज्म. वो है इसका बेसिस. अब इकोनॉमिक भी नहीं, मैं कहूंगा एक्सपेंडिचर का फेडरलिज्म. Why? Because let me give you an example of two stuffs: raising of revenue through income tax and expenditure and public expenditure. So, revenue raising through income tax can be a centralized thing. Okay, it can be under the center, and as it already is under the central government, a prerogative of the central government and not the state government. But ऐसा क्यों है? क्यों वो सेंट्रलाइज्ड है और एक्सपेंडिचर सेंट्रलाइज्ड नहीं हो सकता? बिकॉज से फॉर एग्जांपल उत्तर प्रदेश एंड पंजाब, the people earning in both these states are earning the same money. They are not earning, say Punjab is not earning dollar and UP is not earning rupiah, okay, rupee, which has a difference in its value. No, they both are earning the same money. But when it comes to spending it, Punjab would have different needs than Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh would like to, say for example, spend it on raising the infrastructure for police management, for effective management of law and order. And Punjab would spend it on building of dam, or say a social scheme to eradicate the menace of drugs. ठीक है? So इसीलिए expenditure has to be a bottom to top approach, which means the states telling their demands, raising their demands in some kind of a group, a commission, a committee, which ensures everybody's participation. For example, till January 2015, when the planning commission was in place, it represented the interests of the states for fund allocation. Why? Because planning commission had each and every state's chief minister, or if not chief minister, a representative minister on the chief minister's behalf, attending the sittings of the planning commission with honorable the prime minister and the vice chairperson of the planning commission. Okay, so वो वहां पे अपनी बात कह सकते थे, और अपनी बात को कहने के बाद they could ask for fund allocation from them. But the collapse of planning commission, as announced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2014, it has led to a hiatus, a vacuum where states do not have any way of making the center hear as to what their expenditure needs are before finally allocating the funds. As of now, only a normal expenditure finance committee under the Ministry of Finance of the central government is deciding about which states will get funds and in what manner. जो एक्टिविटी फेडरल होनी चाहिए वो सेंट्रलाइज्ड हो गई है, यूनिटरी हो गई है एज ऑफ नाउ. ये सबसे बड़ा रीजन था इसको लाने का. ठीक है, एंड मैं पहले ही बोल चुका हूँ कि नीति आयोग will still take time to fully substitute the planning commission, though it has made some occasional visits to the states to listen to their concerns, but it still does not know, or still does not have a proper mechanism in place to hear the voices coming from the states. Okay, now what are the arguments against the formation of the council? The Public Spending Council is expected to keep a check on the expenditure incurred by the government. It took about 15 years for the formation of the GST Council. Formation of Public Spending Council may even take longer. Secondly, all the items on the public expenditure list are not on the concurrent list, and all the states might not want to give up their sovereignty, their share in sovereignty to the state. जैसा कि हम जान रहे हैं कि हम यूनिटरी इकोनॉमी नहीं है, हमारा संविधान हमें यूनिटरी नहीं फेडरल बनाता है, दैट टू अ कैनेडियन काइंड ऑफ अ फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर, जिसमें हम यूनियन ऑफ स्टेट्स तो हैं, पर हमारे स्टेट्स के पास खुद के काफी सारे राइट्स, ठीक है। एंड जैसा कि यहाँ पे मैंने बोला कि सारे के सारे पब्लिक एक्सपेंडिचर के आइटम वो सारे कॉन्करेंट लिस्ट पे नहीं है, कुछ स्टेट्स में भी हैं, और स्टेट उन्हें ना तो डिसीजन लेने देना चाहेगा सेंटर को उन पे जो कि स्टेट लिस्ट में है, एंड ना ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनली वैलिड होगा. सो इवन द कोर्ट्स, इवन द सुप्रीम कोर्ट will have to raise an eyebrow that this cannot be done as it is ultra vires or unconstitutional, ultra vires to the constitution or unconstitutional. Okay, now coming to the last point in this is that expenditure. Now एक बेसिक सिस्टम मैं आपके सामने बताना चाहता हूं कि एक्सपेंडिचर इज अनलाइक रेजिंग ऑफ रेवेन्यू. एवरी डिपार्टमेंट और मिनिस्ट्री हैज इट्स ओन बजट जिसमें से वो एक्सपेंडिचर करते हैं और उसका प्लानिंग करते हैं अपने नीड्स के हिसाब से, अकॉर्डिंग टू व्हाट द नीड अराइजेस बिफोर देम. ओके, इट इज नॉट लाइक रेजिंग इनकम टैक्स दैट मनी coming from Karnataka will be the same, money coming from Tamil Nadu will be the same, money coming from Assam will be the same, money coming from Uttar Pradesh will be the same, money coming from Gujarat will be the same. That is not the case with expenditure. Even in the budget that we hear, budget में भी किसी सेंट्रल सेक्टोरल स्कीम को या सेंट्रली स्पॉन्सर्ड स्कीम को पैसा दे दिया, वो बात अलग है. पर सारे के सारे जो अलग अलग डिपार्टमेंट्स हैं, like Ministry of Infrastructure, Ministry of Road Transport, okay, then the Ministry of Aviation, then the Ministry of Textile, okay, all of them are allocated some amount of money, and it is they who have to think as to how they are going to spend it. Okay, so expenditure is unlike raising of revenue, and this happens in the state governments also. So this will make a very humongous number of participants, and it shall be very difficult for managing it. Okay, in case of expenditure there are at least 20 to 30 ministers in each state और सबका अलग अलग डिपार्टमेंट है. So the public spending council will be of about 500 ministers. जरा सोचिए, 10 लोगों में हम कंसेंसस नहीं बना पाते, 500 लोग कैसे डिसीजन ले पाएंगे? ये आर्ग्यूमेंट सबसे वैलिड लगता है मुझे पब्लिक स्पेंडिंग काउंसिल के खिलाफ. Now how to make it effective? Just give it a normal read. Firstly, indirect or direct voting mechanism can be put in place for ensuring the participation of the states. Even if you are forming a centralized body, even if it is not something like planning commission, then also you can have an indirect or direct voting mechanism in place, just like GST council has. ठीक है, GST council में वीटो तो है, पर majority of the decisions majority के हिसाब से लिए जाते हैं. The council can facilitate a smoother and more efficient spending mechanism. The mechanism, next point, the mechanism should be made applicable only to the expenditure to be incurred on things of national priorities like agriculture, education, and not the entire gamut of expenses. ठीक है, ये फिर से दो रीजंस की वजह से मुझे ये और इफेक्टिव करेगा उसको, ऐसा लगता है. बिकॉज जैसा कि मैंने बताया कि एक्सपेंडिचर का नेचर अलग होता है. हर इंसान कमाता एक ही पैसा है, पर उसको खर्च, हर स्टेट भी, हर इंसान और हर स्टेट कमाता एक ही पैसा है, एक ही रुपया है, पर उसको खर्च अलग अलग चीजों पे करेगा. ओके, सो इफ there and then there are some expenditure that will be made uniformly, be it any state. Agriculture will be a national priority. It will be a pan-India subject or pan-India matter to be expended the money on. Education will be a pan-India matter to direct the expenditure towards. But say for example, in Uttar Pradesh, development of the Eastern Expressway from Lucknow to Varanasi will be categorical to that particular state. It concerns neither of all the 29 other states as to how it is going to be made, what it is going to be made, okay, and how and how much money is it going to take. It is only Uttar Pradesh and the central government that have to put a way forward, okay, इसलिए एक्सपेंडिचर अगर सिर्फ कुछ नेशनल प्रायोरिटीज तक सीमित रहेगा तो बाकी एक्सपेंसेस करने का राइट होगा स्टेट्स को उनके अकॉर्डिंग, which will ensure efficiency in spending. Okay. The next point is it must be on the lines of zonal councils, which are divided according to the zones, and decisions be taken on regular periodical basis after deep analysis. Zonal councils जैसे मान लीजिए वेस्ट जोन के लिए अलग काउंसिल बनती है, चेयरमैन सबका प्रधानमंत्री ही होता है, प्राइम मिनिस्टर ही होता है, बट अलग अलग जोन्स के लिए अलग अलग काउंसिल होती है. अभी आपने देखा होगा न्यूज में कि हिमालयन स्टेट्स के लिए एक अलग काउंसिल बनी है, ठीक है. तो नॉर्थ के जितने हिमालयन स्टेट्स हैं वो नॉर्दर्न काउंसिल से होकर हिमालयन काउंसिल में पहुंच गए हैं, राइट. सेंट्रल में मध्य प्रदेश वगैरह आते हैं जैसे. तो ये क्या करता है, ये सेक्टोरली जॉब करता है. इट लुक्स इनटू द सेक्टोरल डिमांड एज टू व्हाट वेस्ट इंडिया वांट्स, फॉर एग्जांपल व्हाट साउथ इंडिया वांट्स, व्हाट ईस्ट एंड नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया वांट्स. And keeping this in mind when expenditure is planned, it will be way more efficient than centralizing it in the hands of one minister, that is the finance minister, and giving him a veto. That was all for the Public Spending Council. I'll take your leave and with a promise to meet in the next lecture. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Have a good night.